Let me see. I wasn't prepared here. How's everyone doing today? Ladies and gentlemen, I actually have something important to talk to you all about today. So I'm going to go ahead and do 5 minutes of salutations. And then after that, we will take it to the spiel of the day. And then after that, we can spend the rest of the time doing a little Q&A and saying hello to everyone that's here. Before I forget, you better be here watching already, Evita and JR. I have to say it now because if not, I will forget. Ladies and gentlemen, say happy birthday to JR. Today, he has turned the ripe old age. I can say old because it's older than my age of 55. So happy birthday, JR. God bless you, my brother. Today is a very good day indeed. And may the good Lord bless you with many more. God bless you, man. All right, so who do we have in the house? We've got Yarn Preppers in the house. Hello, Yarn Prepper. I think I've seen Jan out there. Hello, Jan. How are you? Trucker Hersey, free at last. Otto's Grammy, how are you? Mitch, how you doing? Jennifer, Nostradamus is in the house. Are we getting a little bit better reception today than we did last or yesterday during yesterday's live stream, surprise live stream? Nitekri De Paul, how are you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Mimi, how are you? Doggone it. Stephanie, Cheryl, Michael, how you doing? Eversberg, Cheryl Lintz, how are you? The 49 states in the house. Karen, JT is in the house. How you doing, JT? Justin Ramaj, how are you doing? She-Wolf, Teresa Marie, Suburban Hillbilly, Kimmy, Missy, Tab P is here. Amanda, Joyfully Orange, how are you doing? Blessings to you as well. Let's see. Michelle Law, how are you? Grandbabies La Rosa, Lisa Foster. Copernicus, how you doing? Good to see you. Terry, Salt Dog is in the house. How you doing, Salt Dog? Look at that. Brent Field made it to the party. How you doing, Brent? Brent Field. I went ahead and combined your first and last name. I think that sounds pretty good, huh, Brent? Maybe we'll call you Brent Field from now on. Morte is here. How you doing? Chris P. Karen, living in a hot mess, is in the house. Crazy Backyard Chicken Man. Jen Mom, MG, Jean, Doggone it, Debbie, how you doing? Maggie, how you doing? Good to see you. Free at Last is in the house. How you doing, Free at Last? Good to see you. Kathleen Ralston, how are you? Sven Holmgren, all the way from the Netherlands. How you doing, Sven? Kay Now, Scott Hummer is here. Marcia Bostetter, how are you doing? Betty Randall. Let's bring it on down. I'm sticking to the 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So at 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and switch gears. Right? Pat Small, how are you doing? Good to see you. Everyone is saying happy birthday to JR. How you doing, Linda Hamilton? Good to see you. Let's see. Gina's Kitchen Creations, how are you? Tom Larson, Atropian Vet, how are you? Henry Luberts. Randy Brown is in the house. Randy Brown says, JR, you're still a puppy. It's nice every once in a while when you're a half centurion to find people that are older than you are. Thomas Bissett, how are you? Homestead Preacher, how you doing? All the way from Amish country in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Hello, Mary. Steve Lucier. Let's see. Trump Be Cool is in the house. Karen is here. Rice-A-Roni, Jonathan. Les Moore, the remaining remnant. How are you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. No, I'm not letting in. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no more stress here. Yes. I was thinking to myself the other day, and it's why I'm doing a little bit of news, but it's somewhat actionable news, right? News that you should know about in order to be able to take the appropriate actions, but not just news to tell you, look at how terrible this is. Look at how terrible that is. None of that. But if it's a little bit of news that is going to give you an insight as to how you can better prepare, then yes. But I'm not digging deep into any of these crazy things that are going on. I just let them pass right on through. It's just not worth it. At least not for me. It's not. TJ, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's bring it on down some. Let's see. Living That Country Dream. How you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Thank you, K Roach. Thank you for that. Happy birthday, JR. AP, do you have a channel you recommend or video for someone new to silver and gold stacking? Look at that. You hear that? The alarm is off. The 5 minutes is over. So let me go ahead and grab this question. Let me see. Videos or someone for silver and gold stacking. Actually, yeah, I know a whole bunch of them. I'm not sure what's the best way that I can do this. Actually, you know what? Let me just do this right now while I'm at there. Salivate metal. I'm going to go ahead and write them down and put them up like that. You could probably see them at the bottom of the screen. I'm putting them up, okay? Yankee stacking. If you look them up on YouTube with the names that I'm putting down, you should be able to find them. Okay, Salivate Metal, Yankee Stacking are the two that I watch the most as far as stacking silver. And Yankee Stacking, man, that is a great channel. I mean, they both are, but Yankee Stacking is really a lot of fun because they deal with one of the coin shop owners, and his name is Jim. And it's usually a pretty good episode whenever you watch those. But start with those two. And once you start watching those two, YouTube will start to recommend you other stacking channels, and then you can, I say watch a lot more than just one or two. Like I would never recommend to you that you only watch this channel for preparedness. I would recommend that you watch a whole bunch of different kinds because you can get different things from different channels. So start with those two, and then YouTube should start recommending to you other channels that have to do with metal stacking or stacking silver and stacking gold. All right, I hope that helped. Let me bring it on down. Let me see. Kimmy, thank you very much, Kimmy, for the super chat. I appreciate that. And welcome, by the way. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to warn you, all right, because I know that not everyone has time to research these things. And I actually got the information that I'm going to share with you off of two different channels. One, well, actually, I go to these two gentlemen's channels every single day to get news on what's going on with finances. And it always pays off. The first one is Mr. Manarino, Gregory Manarino. I got some information off of his channel today that I'm going to share with you. And I got some information off of George Gammon's. I'm sure his last name is Gammon. I think it's George Gammon. Yeah, George Gammon off of his channel. They're both extremely intelligent men. They know what they're talking about when it comes to the economy, when it comes to finances and stuff like that. So I wanted to go ahead and give you a little bit of insight as to why it is that today we didn't hear that any other banks went bankrupt. And that's because they were bailed out with your money, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that banks weren't supposed to be bailed out anymore. And or remember that before the government spends money bailing out banks, that they're supposed to put that through Congress first. Well, not anymore. Not in the new world that we live in, where the government, i.e. the Federal Reserve, can just bail anyone out they want, as long as it's not one of you, one of the private citizens that's actually the ones that pays taxes into the system that they're using to bail those whom they do not want to fail out. And what I'm trying to get at here, ladies and gentlemen, is that the economy, i.e. the markets, i.e. the monetary system that we live in, all of those things right now that we're governed by, the monetary system, the economy, the Federal Reserve, we do not have a fair or free market. We do not have capitalism here in the United States. There is no such thing as capitalism in the United States the way that it stands, the way that it is defined in the dictionary. Anyone here that has a problem with capitalism, go look it up in the dictionary, please, and see what the definition of capitalism is. And you'll see that that is not what we have here in the United States. In a capitalist economy, businesses are allowed to fail that need to fail because the market says so. And in a crony capitalist type of an economy, businesses that the government wants to succeed will succeed. And those that the government wants to fail will fail, because there will be no bailouts for those that the government does not want to succeed. And in this case, with the 19 banks that were starting to go under here earlier this week, it seems that at least for now, the government wants those banks to at least not fail today. And I'm going to show you here in a second how that is. And this is part of the information that I got from watching one of Mr. Manarino's videos this morning. And by the way, if you're not subscribed to Gregory Manarino, it sounds just like that, Gregory Manarino. If you're not subscribed, you need to go check him out. He's a good guy, right? He's a good guy, and he knows what he's talking about. He's a little emotional, like me. Sometimes I think he's a little more emotional than I am, all right? And he lets it all out. Let's see. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, am I having problems here? Okay, so here's the 19 banks that here's the 19 banks. This is why these banks, this is why you haven't heard anything about these banks going under like the other ones did. So right here, and wait till you find out how it is that this came to be. 19 banks grasp for $32.6 billion government lifeline. Now, the last I knew, I thought that the Congress was in charge of the purse, all right, of the United States of America. I thought that the Congress was supposed to approve or disapprove expenditures. How in the world can they spend this money if right now we can't borrow any more money? Where did they get the money from? Did they get it from the Treasury? And if they did, how did we spend this money without approval from Congress? I'm not a congressional scholar, but I thought that that's how it works, but I could be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so check this out. 92 banks get $32 billion of government cash, meaning of your cash, of your taxpayer money, and or money that was inflated that's taking away your wealth. And this is what I want to get to right here. 19 banks, including PacWest, East West Bancorp, and Glacier Bancorp, loaded up with $32.6 billion from the Federal Reserve's, keyword, new, from the Federal Reserve's new bank term funding program that offers liquidity. So they just came up with this new program that offers liquidity to banks at the Federal Reserve. How convenient. And that's why I titled this live stream that we are being deceived as people. Right? When the average person takes a look at the stock market and they're like, oh, wow, we had a good day today. Thank goodness, because they're thinking about their 401k. They're thinking about their retirement. They're thinking about all of those days and months and years that they've got into their retirement, right? As far as earning money to put into their retirement. So they're okay, great. But what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is they are putting as much duct tape on this as they can until they, and who's they, are overlords. The people that want everything, until they are ready to let it go. When they are ready to let it go, they will let it go. And everyone that is still in there is going to lose it all. And then they're going to come back and buy everything for pennies on the dollar. You will see that that is exactly how it works out, ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you if they're going to do this tomorrow or the day after or next month. I don't know. But just take a look at history and you'll see that that's what's happened every time. The people get hope. They leave their life savings in the market. Then the markets get wiped out. And then the people act like human beings and allow their emotions to take over. And then they sell what there is left for pennies on the dollar to those people that caused the market to crash anyways. I remember saying a long time ago that eventually the banks will own everything. And that's what's happening right now. The banks will own everything. And we will be left out on the street. Just like Thomas Jefferson predicted, it's what we're seeing happen right now. So let me go ahead and show you real quick one last thing on this page. These are all of the banks right here that needed to be bailed out with your money, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that First Republic Bank that was on the verge of bankruptcy? Well, not anymore. Not anymore, right? Look at that. They borrowed $13.8 billion. And then you can go all the way down the list from the smallest bank that needed to borrow only $40 million. But there's $36 billion or $39 billion. What is it again? I forgot. $32.6 billion of our money to bail out institutions that did not do the right thing, that should have been allowed to fail, ladies and gentlemen. That is what a free market is. A free market or a capitalist market is when an institution that needs to fail because it did not do the right things, when it is allowed to fail. That's a free market. But what we have here in the United States is we have a free market for the average citizen, because when an average citizen fails, they're allowed to fail. When you out there who lose your house, you're allowed to lose your house. No one comes to your rescue. But then when it comes to the cronies, we have what is a socialist form of a system, where when they fail, it is we, the average citizen, that get to pay their way out of the jam that they created for themselves by the malfeasance that they conducted for years, probably. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it works. So anyone who thinks that what we have here in the United States is capitalism, it's not even close to capitalism. I would say it's closer to socialism on the corporate side and capitalism on the private side, because we are allowed to fail, but they are not. And when they are not allowed to fail, it is we who pay the price, unfortunately. Something else that I wanted to go ahead and show you, because I put something on there. Don't be deceived, right? Don't be deceived with all of these things that they are putting out there to make you feel like everything is all right. Look, I wish that everything were all right. I truly do. I wish that everything was great. I wish that the word prepper was never even a word, because it just wasn't needed. But that's just not the life that we live, right? That's not the world that we live in. It's not reality. The reality is that you are lied to on an everyday basis by those same people that you put your trust into representing you for the things that you wanted them to represent you for. Mainly me, liberty and freedom, right? Unfortunately, that doesn't go across the board. Not everyone wants to be free. All right, not everyone wants their liberty to be preserved. They rather have safety instead of being free to be able to do what they want to live, how they want to live. However, this is another piece of news that I grabbed from George Gammon from his channel early this morning when he put this out as well. And ladies and gentlemen, it's lies after lies after lies. Let me just show you real quick. I'm not sure how many of you have heard that we had a blockbuster or better than expected. Where is it? Right here. Boom, boom, just a second. Here we go. We had a blockbuster, better than expected, payroll numbers, meaning number of jobs added. Our unemployment dropped down to 3.4%, the lowest it's been since, I think, 1960 or something like that, or 67, right? So here it says payroll employment rises by 253,000 in April, where they were only expecting like 180 something thousand. So it's like well over what they expected. The unemployment rate changes little at 3.4%, the lowest that it's been in decades, right? But what they don't tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is what they do in the background and what they don't advertise, like they advertise things like this. You see, when they have these great numbers, they advertise them. Oh, look, this is a lot more than we expected it to be. Isn't this great? But then there's something that they do that's called a revision. They go back up to 3 months after they come up with a number like this 253 here, up to 3 months after this number is put out, they can revise it up or down. Well, let me go ahead and show you the revision of the last 3 or 4 months of this year. Bear with me here because I have to do this one by one. Let's see. There it is right there. Okay, so let me go ahead and fix this real quick so that you can see it better. All right, so if you take a look, let me see. I got to bring it down. No, here we go. Give me a second. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm still a rookie at this kind of stuff. I don't have a production crew back there. Okay, so is this it? Yeah, this is the third one. So if you take a look at this right here, ladies and gentlemen, these are the numbers. So you can take a look that they just came out with that 253,000, right? So here's the 253,000 that I was talking about that they just came out with for April, which was like a lot higher than what they expected, right? But if you take a look at March, In March, they came out with 236, which was higher than what they expected, right? But then once they revised that number, they had to revise it down all the way 71,000. So they ended up revising that number all the way from 236 to 165. So minus 71,000. Right. So no doubt that the stock market did great today, because none of those other banks that were supposed to be claiming bankruptcy, that were going out of business, none of them ended up failing because the government went ahead and injected money into them. So they didn't fail. Right. I think that eventually they will, but that's, besides the point that I'm trying to make here. So no wonder the stock market went up nice. Right. No wonder the stock market went up, because we had a great number, a number that was a lot higher than what they had expected or anticipated as far as employment goes. But then when you look at why it is that the banks didn't fail, because they got bailed out, number one. When you look at why it is that these numbers are such great numbers, well, why? Because next month, more than likely, I can't say this with specificity, right? I can't say this for sure. Next month, it'll more likely be revised a lot lower, like last month was, like February, where they came out with 311,000, and then it ended up getting revised all the way down to 248, from 311 in February to 248, right? And take a look at January, from 517 in January to 472. So of course it's going to look really good. Of course, the stock market is going to look good, but are all of these numbers true? No, it's not real. Even the numbers that they give us aren't real. Just like the numbers that are in our checking accounts aren't real. They just make believe that it's there in order to keep that wool over your eyes so that you will not be prepared when the time comes. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, there's probably so much more than what I'm talking about right now. And the reason that I'm saying this, and the reason that I'm passing this message on that I got from those two YouTube channels, is because the average person out there needs to know this. The average person that puts their faith on a politician so that they can retire one day with dignity, so that they can afford to do things later on in life in their golden years, right? That they have been putting off all their lives in order to save a little bit of a nest egg and retire with dignity. Do any of you think that with them lying to us on a continuous basis, that you're not going to be held, you're not going to be left holding the bag when everything goes down? You are the ones that are supposed to be left holding the bag. Or we are the ones that are supposed to stay poor the rest of our lives. We are the ones that are supposed to suffer. We are the cattle. We are the ones that pay into the system that they live off of. So protect yourselves in every way that you can. Right? Of course, you got to make sure that you, and I can't say, I have to say I'm not a financial advisor, but take your money, if you're not completely prepped, and prep with the things that you know you're going to use anyways. That way, if the end of the world is not tomorrow, you still are going to get use out of the labor that you invested in whatever you purchased and put away for a rainy day. In other words, I would rather have a rainy day fund that's in my pantry, in real stuff, that's under my tent, in tools, in car parts, in extra tires, in solar generators, in freeze-dried foods. I'd rather have my rainy day fund converted into those real things that I know I'm going to use down the line than to leave it in a system where you know that you're going to be left holding the bag. And that is all I have to say about that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and do some Q&A for the next few minutes. How long did that take me? I don't know. Probably took me a few minutes, but I appreciate you hanging in there for those of you that are here. Yeah, William, I agree, William. I think that the poor are already treated like cattle. I mean, it's a disgrace. But William says the poor will be treated like cattle and given FedNow social credit to let them buy permissible ration items once the Fed socials. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be 100% control. Absolutely. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, the thing is that you still have time, and slow and steady does win the race. You should never do anything in a hurry. All right. You should always take your time and think about something. If you're thinking about doing it, especially if it's something that is big to you, right? So if you go out there and you purchase 1 ounce of gold, no, 1 ounce of gold, if you can, that'd be awesome. If you purchase 1 ounce of silver every payday, as soon as you purchase that first ounce of silver, you have more silver than what everyone in the world could have if all of the silver in the world that's above ground was evenly distributed. The very first ounce of silver that you purchase will guarantee to you that you hold more silver than what everyone in the world would hold if the silver that we had was evenly distributed. All right. That's how precious a metal silver is. In my opinion, silver is a much more precious metal than gold is, in my opinion, just because of the fact, not because gold exists, silver does not exist in the crust in a lesser ratio than gold. It doesn't, right? But for the fact that silver is a metal that we use in a way through industry that cannot be recovered, or cannot be recovered at a price that would be conducive to actually going out there and mining it in garbage dumps, right? And things like that. So in that perspective, I consider silver more of a precious metal than gold, because it gets used a lot more throughout industry, throughout pretty much all of our lives. And the amounts that it's used in is so small that just cannot be recovered at a price that's reasonable to what the spot price is today, at least. Maybe one day in 20, 30 years, they will be mining silver out of garbage dumps, out of landfills, because silver will be so expensive that they will be able to expend the energy to extract the microparticulants of silver out of the trash and landfills. Maybe one day, but not today, especially with the way that silver is manipulated today. So let's go on here. Yep, I agree, Rick Massey. I agree, absolutely. Just get prepped. And that's a great way to look at it. Never look back. What you prep today will be a hedge against inflation later, if nothing else. And at the very least, what you prep today is something that you are guaranteed to have tomorrow. Let's say that you prep something today and things stay the exact same way today for the next 10, 15, 30, 40, 50 years. They just stay flat. It doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any worse. It just stays flat. You're still guaranteed to have what you prep today when you need it tomorrow or next week, next month, next year. Hello, Melissa. How are you? Let's see. How you doing, Paul Davis? Good to see you. Oh, who is that? Okay, I thought I saw Bonnie. All-American Prepper. How you doing? Good to see you. Yes, elevator mechanic. Yes. Do you keep a couple tire irons handy? I do. I have some tire irons. I actually have them in my vehicles. I also have some of those electric impact wrenches. I also have one of them. I have one of those, but I do keep tire irons in my vehicles. Yes. You always want to have the tool to do a job that is the hand tool, but I have no problem with using tools that are electric and stuff like that. I have no problem with using them. The way I feel is if you can make your life easier by using technology, make your life easier, but I also believe that you should have the backup for that tool in hand form, like a hand tool, just in case. You never know. And that's for good times. How you doing, Sandra? Good to see you. Cheryl Adams, how you doing? Mark's Adventures, how you doing? Little Lone Prepper, how are you doing? The Survival Buzz, how are you doing? Good to see you. Doggone it is here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, anything you want to share with the community, put it in all caps, okay? I think we're going to have to hold it to an hour today because I have to go take a look at something. I may actually be buying something for myself that's fun, all right? So I may actually be buying something that's fun, that's for myself. I have to go take a look at it here later on in about an hour or so. So, but we'll see. If I get it, then I'll do a video showing you all it. But I don't want to jinx it It's actually something that's really cool at a really good price. So, but we'll see. I was thinking, man, maybe I should just wait another 6 months or so, but no, I'm not gonna wait that long. How you doing, Frank and Prepper? How you doing? Good to see you. Gracious 48, how are you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Nishka, how are you? Good to see you. Yes, we need to prep now more than ever. More than ever. Everything, not just one thing. Yep, everything. Oh, really? You know, that's one thing that I've noticed. I've noticed that the price, and not just today, but I've noticed that the price of oil has been kind of down. It's been a little lower than normal, but the price of gas here, at least, is going up. Has been going up little by little. It's creeping all the way up to $4 again. I think the last time I saw was $4.92. I believe either $4.92 or $4.96, one of those two. But yeah, I noticed it's creeping up, and now I hear that we have a refinery that caught fire in Texas. That's not good. Hey, how you doing, retired police officer? Good to see you. Rob Max, how you doing? Paul Sargent, what's up? The prepping artist. Sherry. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to bring it down. All right, let's see. What is this here? Stephanie Schooler, how are you? What should my first ounce of silver be? I'm on my way to get it now. I'm going to give you some terrible advice, but it's not financial advice. All right. This is terrible advice when buying silver, but it's not financial advice. If I were to go get my very first ounce of silver, I would make it an American Silver Eagle. I would make it a 2023 American Silver Eagle. You're probably going to end up paying $10 or $12 above spot. All right. But that's what I would make it. And the reason is because I believe that is the most beautiful silver coin that there is. It's the American Silver Eagle. No, not because I'm here in the United States of America, not because I'm an American citizen, but I just believe it's the most beautiful coin that there is. So that's what I would do for my very first coin, to make it a memorable occasion. And then after that, Stephanie, I would make sure that I get one every year after that of the new year stamp. So next year, make sure you get a 2024, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? That's what I would do. But good luck. However, once you start stacking seriously, what I would do is I would make sure to get the cheapest silver possible, right? Whatever you can get the best spot price plus premium, or the cheapest premium that you can get on top of the spot price. All right, so that you can make your stacking a little bit more favorable as far as ounces and not necessarily content, right? Because silver is still silver, right? But and I would not tell you to get any constitutional or junk silver right now. The premium is just too darn high. I think everyone should have a little bit of constitutional silver in their stash because it's just easier to barter with. It's like you can, with constitutional silver, with like quarters, right? With quarters and dimes, with constitutional silver, you can make change for a full ounce of silver, right? Because with constitutional silver, $1.40 face value, so 4 quarters and 4 dimes equals about 1 full ounce of actual pure silver. So you can make change. So if you want to barter, you can have something to barter with. No, it's not a 4-wheeler. TJ is not a 4-wheeler. Vicky says, Rudy, I'm a truck driver, been seeing a lot of military moving by train, I mean, yeah, it could be a couple of things. This time of the year, you usually have, it depends where you are too. This time of the year, you usually have a lot of exercises going on in Fort Polk, Louisiana. And a lot of times part of those exercises include the logistics of moving equipment. So the units actually move their equipment to the exercise location. So you got Fort Polk, you got Yakima in Washington, and I forget a couple of other places that are major places. But it could be that, and it can also be the staging of some of the equipment that's being given to overseas locations, if you understand what I mean. Okay, bringing it down. Lisa Foster asks, AP, can you still eat beans, bean protein and all? I am on my way, And I actually have, for those of you that don't know this, let me just go ahead and throw this out there. I'm actually working on like a little series on my diabetes, right? I didn't want to encapsulate the channel with just my diabetes and talk about that all the time. So what I'm doing is I'm putting up all of the episodes up on Patreon in the members club, so that they can all get a preview of everything before it goes out on YouTube. And then every Tuesday, I'm taking one of the episodes that I have up in on Patreon or the Members Club. I'm taking one of those episodes and putting it on Tuesday. So every Tuesday will be like Ketovore Tuesday, where I put an episode of my journey with diabetes and what I'm trying to do to reverse it, right? And how everything is going. All right. So you can count on next Tuesday. There will be an episode dropping for that. And then usually there's about 3 or 4 episodes more up on the other member channel. Right. But that's how I'm doing it. And the reason why I'm not putting them all out there in one shot is because I explained this before. I want to make sure that the channel has some balance, because I'm sure that some people don't mind watching those and like to watch them. But some people may not. So I'm not going to put those on every single time that I do a new one. I'm not going to put it on because I might end up putting 3 or I've done like 2 or 3 or 4 in a week at some times. I don't want to do that. I want to give the channel some balance, where some people may come here to just hear me talk about finances and silver and gold, or some other people may come here to see how I talk about preparedness or a little bit of news. And some people may come and just see want me to talk about the Ketovore and how I'm doing my diabetes. So it's just a way of giving the channel a little bit of balance and providing a little bit of a mixed stuff in the channel instead of the exact same thing every single day, right? I hope I hope that I made some sense. But to answer your question, Lisa, what I'm going to do is I'm working my way towards doing the carnivore diet, which is a diet that it's an elimination diet. And what I mean by, or what is meant by an elimination diet, is that I'm working my way down, and on June 1st, I'll start. I'm working my way down to where I eat nothing but animal products, but meat, eggs, dairy in the form of eggs, and a little bit of cheese. All right, no milk, but it's the closest thing to a carb-free diet than the lion diet. The lion diet is like extremely strict, right? And I may try that one day, but I'm not ready for it yet. And I want to give myself the best opportunity to succeed. So I'm not just going cold turkey from one day to the other. And what I'm doing this month, in the month of May, is I'm winding down those last little things that I eat that have 1 or 2 sugar carbs in them. And for example, one of those things is I love the avocado cups that they sell at Costco. They're great ingredients. They're organic avocado cups, avocado, and all that it has in it is a little bit of sea salt. There's no preservatives whatsoever. It's organic avocado with sea salt. There's no citric acid, no nothing. That's it, right? I love those, but those have like 2 grams of protein. I mean, not protein. Those have like 2 grams of carbohydrates, right? So what I'll do is I will eliminate those throughout the month of May to include coffee. By the end of May, I'll be coffee free. I've been soda free now for about 4 months or so, all right? And I'm even going to eliminate some of the sugar-free gum that I chew, right? I'm actually eliminating those little by little. I used to chew on sugar-free gum like 3 or 4 times a day, and I'm down to once a day. I allow myself to have some sugar-free gum so that I can do that mechanical chewing motion that us eaters love to do, right? And by the end of May, I'll be done with all of it. And the only thing that I will be consuming by June 1st will be meat, all right? Pretty much any meat that I want to eat. Meat, fats in the form of tallow, in the form of lard, in the form of butter, right? And water. And that's it. Water, and of course, a little bit of electrolyte mix. I put a little electrolyte mix in my water to make sure that I don't start getting headaches like I was in the past. So it's an elimination diet. And then once you go through that, you can start adding back a little bit of something here or there, just one at a time. So like I can add back my coffee if I want. And then I'll see how after adding my coffee back, after not having had anything outside of meat, protein and fats for a whole month, I'll see how that affects me. And if it affects me in a negative way, I'll know that that's something I have to keep out of my life. And I'll continue to do that with all of the things that I'm allowed to eat in like a ketovore diet, a diet where you can have a little bit of carbs, like my avocados that have a couple of carbs in them, but not more than 10 or 15 grams per day. I know that was a really long answer to a very short question, but I hope that I that you understand what I meant by what I said. Let's see. Are you kidding, Kim's Cluckers? So that refinery in Dearborn, Texas, that's ablaze, is the same one where they took the contaminants from Palestine. Wow. You know what? I wish north of the 52nd. I wish, man, because my property taxes have only gone up since I moved here. I mean, only gone up. And yeah, I have it from a pretty good source that I can't confirm this. All right. So this is what I think. All right. I heard from someone that the mayor said, yeah, just go ahead and increase everyone's property tax by 10% this year. That's what I heard. All right. I can't confirm it, but I can confirm that my property tax went up this year by, I think it was 12%. My property taxes went up this year by 12%. And there was zero change to my property all of last year. Zero change. And the properties near me around here, their properties did not improve either. So, but you know, I told my wife told me, hey, how you doing, Chelsea? My wife told me, why don't you go and fight it? I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm so stubborn that I won't do it. I'll just pay the extra money because I'm not going to go and try to argue, you know, for a couple hundred extra bucks, which is a lot in a way. $200, I can go buy a slab of ribeye steak, you know, for $200 that I can eat on for the next 2 or 3 weeks, right? But the thing is I don't want to go and argue with a bureaucrat that believes that our money is their money, that is for them to take and do whatever they want. I don't know if I could handle that. So I told my wife, I said, I don't care. I said, I'll just pay the darn taxes. I said, one day this system will correct itself. And hopefully it'll be while I'm still alive, right? Yes, daily survival. Canadian silver maple leaves are quad nines, right? 4 9ers. Pure and cost the same as others. Actually, Canadian maple leaves are actually a little bit less spot price. I mean, premium. Like if you go to Alaska Rare Coins, if they have maple leaves from Canada, their premiums are actually a lot lower than the American Silver Eagle. So yeah, it's a great deal. And as far as the 4 9s compared to the 3 9s, it's really not much of a comparison. Yes, it just means that they're a little bit pure in silver in there. It's a little more pure, but you're only looking at a few molecules in all actuality. So that's not really going to change what you get for them if you ever have to sell them. But I believe that the Canuck is a very nice coin indeed. It is my second favorite coin because there's so much attention to detail on that coin, especially on the side that has the maple leaf in it. That's my favorite side. So much attention to detail. But yeah, that's a great coin to stack. If you want to stack a sovereign coin, that's a great coin to stack because of the premium. I was going to see if I had one here. I don't think I do. No, I don't. Do I? Nope, I don't. Barb, how are you? What are the best food storage containers, glass versus plastic? Well, it really depends. It depends on your situation. Now, I would go with glass, but then remember that glass is heavier. Glass can break. So it depends on your situation and what you're putting away. If I was putting away, you know, rice for long term, I have no problem putting it in a Mylar bag in a 5-gallon bucket, as long as I know that wherever I'm storing it, there's not going to be a critter that can chew through plastic. So if you know that there's going to be critters that can chew through plastic, I would probably be storing it in glass, or I would be probably putting it in 5-gallon buckets and then putting maybe a cage around it or something. But it's really depends on the situation that you have on whether what is best for you to store stuff in. Yeah, premium on gold jumped to $100. I'll tell you what, it's a lot more than that in some of the online stores. Man, some of these online stores, the premiums are incredible. Incredible, like 200 plus dollars. Oh, yeah, you guys want to see the Morgan that I tried to show you yesterday and you couldn't see? Hopefully you can see it now. Here it is. Here's the front. Isn't that a pretty coin? There you go. That's the front. Look at the patina on that. Here's the back. I think the back is my favorite. I like the back better than I do the front. Can you all see it better today? I hope you can see it better today. Yeah, it's a beautiful coin. This is one of those coins I bought two. If you all remember, a long time ago, I bought two of these and I gave one away to someone in the live stream. Crazy Prepper Linda, how are you? Okay, let's see. Emmanuel Bravo, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, good for you. You went prepper shopping yesterday. I'm telling you, that's an awesome pastime, isn't it? It can get a little expensive sometimes, but as long as you buy stuff you know you're going to use, it's all good. Let me see. Him channel. We hear you here overseas. Where are you at, Him channel? I wonder where you are overseas. Thank you for being here, by the way. You know what? Mark's Adventures. If you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel about prepping, by all means do it. I think that the more the better. The more the better. I mean, I love Funky Prepper's channel over there in the UK. So go ahead. There's no reason why you shouldn't start it. If you find that it can be a passion for you, that is something that you will really enjoy doing it. It's got to be something that you enjoy doing, that you really like to do, right? Don't do like me that started stressing myself out over things just so that I can do a video. Do something that you enjoy doing and let it grow if it grows, and just talk about it, and hopefully you can wake more people up, you know? So yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm bringing myself down here. I'm taking it down here. Let's see if I can find some. Well, Crystal Carpenter, there's a whole bunch of stuff about carbs and stuff that I've been learning, but I honestly don't want to push. Uh, I don't want to push what I'm doing onto anyone else, right? Or I don't want to push my ideology or how I think about carbs and stuff like that to anyone else. So I believe that with the diabetes that I have, it's pretty. It has not been very easy, right? I am very insulin resistant, very. Like I haven't eaten more than 5 carbs, I would say, and I mean total carbs, not net. Some people count net carbs, meaning that if you have 4 grams of fiber and you have 5 grams of carbs, you only have 1 net carb, right? I count total carbs, and so far today, I've eaten 2 total carbs so far today, and I already ate a meal. I've been cutting my meal into 2s because I figured out that when I eat 2 meals instead of 1, I still do intermittent fasting. I eat between noon and 6, but usually I'm done eating by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I eat my first meal right away at noon. Today I was hungry. I ate it at like 11:45. I ate my first meal. And that meal had 2 grams of carbs. All right, total carbs. So, like I said, I've found that if I have 2 meals a day and I still keep it within that window, that 4 to 6 hour window, that I can control my blood sugar a little bit better than if I just eat 1 meal. Okay. And I'm still learning how to eat as far as how much protein and fats. Right. But whenever I eat any carbs, my sugar spikes. And it's very frustrating to know that you're doing everything that you can possibly do, and in my eyes it's not being as successful as I want it to be. But then again, I have to learn to be patient, because if I'm already doing everything that I can do, then if I get frustrated, it's just not going to help any. So I just have to be patient and trust that if I continue to go down the road that I'm going, I'm exercising every day. I couldn't do my push-ups for a couple of days because my shoulder just, it felt like it was hanging from a string, right? But that's a mechanical issue. But yeah, that's what I found that works best for me. And eventually I will switch over, like I said, to just animal fats, animal proteins. When I got my last blood work done, and you guys are going to get the blood work here this Tuesday. This Tuesday, I believe it's episode 3. So I believe this Tuesday you'll be able to see my blood work from when I went to the doctor. But when I went to the doctor and he saw my blood work and he compared it to my first set of blood work, he couldn't believe that I've been eating 95% proteins, animal proteins and animal fats. I've been eating up to that point. Now it's like 98%. But up to that point, when I got my blood work, I've been eating about 90. I've been averaging about 10 to 20 carbs a day from the time that I got diagnosed with diabetes to the time that I got my blood work done. And he said, "You mean you've been eating mostly animal proteins and fats?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "This is incredible because my LDL went down." All right, my LDL, my total cholesterol went down, my LDL went down, my HDL went up, my triglycerides went down by like 26 points. All right, and I've been eating nothing but animal proteins and animal fats for almost 3 months, with maybe at the most between 10 and 20 grams of carbs. And now I've knocked it down to maybe around between 5 and 10 grams a day. And I'm hoping that by June, it'll be pretty much zero, with the exception of the trace amounts of carbohydrates that you find like in eggs and things like that. All right. So yeah, I don't talk about it that much because I don't want people to think that it's my way or the highway, that the way that I'm doing it is the right way. Everyone is different. Everyone is different as far as how their body works. I have my, I have my theories and I have my beliefs on what it is that we should be eating, but that's me, Oh my goodness, I had some that sounds so good. I need to do a video about this, Helen. All right, I need to do a video about this later on because Tommy G's, which is my local butcher, for those of you that may not know, every once in a while he gets this Iberico pork. It's called Iberico pork, and it's a pork that comes from Spain. And it's like the Wagyu of pork. It's like the best pork that there is in the world. And the hogs over there that they raise in Spain, in a certain location in Spain, they eat nothing but acorns. And it is the best darn pork that I've ever tasted in my entire life. And it's kind of pricey. It's not as pricey as Wagyu beef, but it's pretty pricey for pork, but it's definitely worth it. So the next time that I go down there and he still has some, I'm going to grab me a couple of packs because they come in like the 1 pound pack. It's like 40 something a pound. Very pricey. So we usually buy like 1 or 2 pounds and we just, have it as a treat for the family, not just for one person, but for the whole family. And it's delicious. Let's see. Serious prepper. I may be growing potatoes if chickens like it. What I think I'll be trying to grow this year are things that chickens like to eat. And I'll probably end up growing some cucumbers also and things like that. Because once I come off that carnivore elimination diet, excuse me, I'm sorry. I mean, who knows? I may stay on it. Depending on how well it works and how my sugar is doing and all that kind of stuff, I may stay on it if I can, if I want to. But if I don't, there are still a few vegetables that I do like to consume, like cucumbers, things like that, but just not too much of. But so we'll see. I'm going to try to find out what it is that chickens like to eat, and whatever it is, I'm going to go ahead and grow it, and then I'll give it to my chickens, because my chickens are actually being fostered right now. They're at their foster parents' home until the rest of the snow melts here and I can put up my chicken coop. So that's going to be first order of business this year, is putting up that chicken coop. Hey, how you doing, SB? Good to see you. Thank you, by the way. Let's see. Michael Skinner, when money is backed with gold, does that make the price of gold? Does that mean that the price of gold will go up? Well, it just all depends, Michael. It all depends. Because if we have a default where all of the money is erased, like if everything is gone, right? And there's no dollar, all the dollars. If we have a complete default, all right, and a complete reset of the system where the dollar is gone, and we start with a new system with a new dollar, let's say, then it means that all your savings will be gone, your mortgage will be gone, your car note will be gone, your credit card bills will be gone, your student loans will be gone, all debt will be gone. And what people don't understand is that this right here, this is debt. This is a debt note, right? So when they say that all debt will be gone, all of these guys will be gone too, whether they're in your bank account in the form of digits, and if they're like this, they just won't be worth anything. This is a debt note. If that happens and a new system is created whereby gold is used to back up the new currency, because at that time it would be currency and not fiat currency, right? If it's being backed by gold, it will be a currency, not a fiat currency. If that happens, then not necessarily we'll probably still be able to have a fair and honest value to our labor, right? So if you work for something, if it takes you 1 hour of time today to work to buy 5 gallons of gas, then it should be the same thing as far as how much you get paid nominally. All right. But if they want to reprice gold to back up the dollars that are in existence right now, so if the U.S. says, okay, we have 8,254 tons of gold in Fort Knox, if they do have it, right? And we have, $50 trillion worth of dollar bills out there. How much will that revalue gold if we want to back gold up to those bills that are out there? They would have to revalue it to whatever amount it would take for the gold to back up all of the debt that's out there. So in that case, the nominal value of gold will go up, but then that would mean that the price of everything else would go up too, kind of like hyperinflation wise. That's how I see it. All right. But then again, you have to take it with a grain of salt. All right. Do your own research. That's funny. Wow, Sunset, that is ridiculous. It sounds like you live somewhere in New York, maybe even California. Okay, let's see. Oh, that sounds awesome, Jeff. That sounds awesome. Prepper cabin weekend next week. That'd be fun. That would actually be something fun. It's actually something that I'm going to start doing here probably this summer. A new something that I'm going to bring to the channel, but it's going to be a lot of fun for me though. Okay, I'm bringing it down because I know I'm very far behind, ladies and gentlemen. So let me bring it down here. Now, I'm really far behind. So what time is it? 2:58. Yeah. Hey, Linda Bob, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, Gracious 48. You're talking about the little wafers that you can tear off a little piece of silver, like 1 gram. Absolutely. Okay, bringing it down. Let's see. Tina says, my husband is pre-diabetic now. Do you have any advice for him on what to avoid eating? Tell him to go check out Jason Fung. Jason Fung. Right? He's a doctor, and he's the first person that I went and looked at on YouTube. And man, he is awesome. And once your husband takes a look at Jason Fung, right? It's just like that, like it says, Jason Fung, right? He's a doctor, but he doesn't have the doctor on his YouTube name, right? Once he starts watching his videos, YouTube will probably send him over to Dr. Ken Berry. He'll probably send him over to Sugar MD. He'll probably send him over to a whole bunch of other channels that have to do with diabetes and low carb eating and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of them, and a lot of them, let me tell you what, are really good people, right? A lot of them are really good people. One of my favorite ones that I watch, that channel's name is called Ferrigno Freedom, and the gentleman's name is Dante. And this guy's got such a great story. He's like on his second year of carnivore, and his journey has been awesome. And it shows you all of the progress that he's made from his first videos to his most recent. And he's just a really good guy, you know. So it's a good way to learn and to get inspired at the same time. Hey, how you doing, Steve Gray? Good to see you. Thank you very much, Steve. It's good to see you here. Yeah, actually, Kimmy, my vitamin D was pretty good. It was like a couple of points below what it was supposed to be, but it was pretty good. So I do take a vitamin D supplement every once in a while, just every once in a while, not too much, because I go for a walk every single day, and I get plenty of sun, and I wasn't really deficient. It was just like just under the mark. So far so good. Let's see. Hey, thank you, country girl. I am a ketovore already and would love ideas to prepping food for our lifestyle. We would love to see some videos. I'm glad that you asked, country girl, because I actually am tonight. Yeah, tonight I'm actually going to finish a video. I already started it. It's like 3/4 of the way done. But tonight I'm actually going to finish a video that talks about how to store this very important ketovore diet ingredient. I'm trying not to give it away for long term. All right. And then I'm going to be doing a payday prep here not too long from now that has some of that stuff as well. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned, because I'll definitely be doing that video, finishing it up tonight. I'm hoping to have it out by tomorrow, but we'll see. If I don't have it out by tomorrow, then maybe by Sunday. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, vitamin D3 needs vitamin K too, and eggs are great for vitamin K. Right, eggs are great for that. The egg yolk, actually. All right, let's see. Hey, thank you, Pitbull. Thank you. AP, please put the word out that survival preparedness for beginners. Was he really? He's working with YouTube? Okay. All right, awesome. Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate you letting me know. You know, YouTube has actually been pretty good. His channel is the third channel that I've heard of that was hacked. Man, that's kind of scary in a way, you know that? Like, I wouldn't even know how to get a hold of YouTube if something like that happened to me. So, but thanks for letting me know. Man, I hope he'll get his channel back, because I remember that Survival Living, CFP, that the same thing happened to him, and it took him a few days, and they ended up getting his channel back for him. So hopefully he'll get it back soon. Hawkeye, what's up, man? How you doing, Hawkeye? No, Hawkeye, I'll tell you what, it's not. That's not what I'm getting. That's not the purchase that I'm going to go look at after our stream. Oh, look at that. We got to start, wrapping it up. That's not. It's going to be something for fun. It's going to be something, ladies and gentlemen, that I don't need. I do not need this. What I'm about to look at here in about another half hour or so, I do not need it. I do not need it. It's going to be 100% for fun. And it is pricey. All right. But I told my wife, I says, well, you got a motorcycle. And she said, okay, let's go look at it. I'm like, all right. 100% right, L. Kaler. That's 100% right. The carnivore diet is the Eskimo diet before the government improved it, right? Same thing as the Indian diet, right? The Indians, before we got here and the government killed all the buffalo to try to starve them because that was their main source of food. Same thing for the Indians, right? So yeah, that's what it is. Oh, thanks for letting me know that, Kims. You cannot feed raw potatoes to chickens. I'm sure I would have found that out one way or another. We'll see if they eat potatoes. I'll go ahead and grow some potatoes because I got plenty of seeds. I've got plenty of seed potatoes. Heidi Tucker, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, let me give a shout out to Tim. All right. I almost messed up. I was at Alaska Rare Coins. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I was at Alaska Rare Coins. And there was a gentleman in there. And on my way out, I went in there to visit Dick. Jerry's gone for a little bit. So I went in there to visit Dick, see how he was doing in chit chat. So there was a gentleman there that on my way, when I was starting to walk out, he says, hey, I love your channel, man. I really like your channel. I never miss a video. And so I introduced myself and I'm like, what's your name? He's like, my name's Tim. It's like, well, nice to meet you, man. We talked for a few minutes and then I started to walk out. And Dick said, hey, Rudy, aren't you doing what you said you were going to do? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I almost forgot. So I remember saying a long time ago that if I was ever in AK Rare Coins and that if one of you saw me in there, to introduce yourselves and ask me for a silver coin and that I would buy you one. So I was like, yeah, I almost forgot. So I ended up meeting Tim. Nice to meet you, Tim. And he got his silver coin. All right. But if you are watching, Tim, it was a real pleasure, man. Nice meeting you. SD Bullion is a good company. SD Bullion is a reputable company. Did you really? I love Jesus. Good for you. I'm really happy about that. You know, when that happens with me, I believe that eventually I will turn this around. I will be very happy when that happens. I would be very, very happy. And I'd be happy for myself, but I really be happy for my family, because one of the things that I would hate to do to my family in the long term, you know, like when I get older, is to be dependent, like on my children to come and take care of me, because I didn't take care of myself now. So now I'm paying for the consequences of the actions that I took 10, 20, 30 years ago. So now hopefully I'll learn my lesson now and take the actions that will keep me from having to burden my children when I get older, instead of being able to take care of myself, right? Because, I'm taking care of myself now. So, yes, I believe so. Grandbabies ask, hey, Rudy, do you think silver will take another price dip before it soars? I personally believe so. I mean, it took a little bit of a price dip today, and so did gold. I personally believe so. However, I do not try to time the market as far as my purchases go. I purchase with dry powder whenever the market does dip, but I always do dollar cost averaging. The first week of every month, I go do my dollar cost average for that month. I don't care what the price is. Are we ever going to have a day without? You know what? I don't think we are, Randy. I don't think we are, because crises is what government thrives on. The more crises that there is, the more that government can make the people think that they need government. So I don't think we are, to tell you the truth. Every day it's something new. And then again, in the world that we live in today, the technological world that we live in today, it's such a small world that you know what happens 10,000 miles away, probably within an hour of when it happens. And there's always something big happening around the world, probably every hour of the day. So yeah, I don't think that we'll go a day without a major crisis here or there. All right. Okay. I'm going to bring it down, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to close it down. Okay. We're going to have to go ahead and shut it down for the day. Okay. It's 3:09 and I have about 20 minutes to get ready and get on. So, hey, you know what? Look at that. Almost 600 of you are still here. We're at an hour and 10 minutes almost. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the highlight of my week. I know we had a live stream yesterday, but that was a live stream because I just felt like coming on and talking about that stuff about the banks and the stock market and gold and all that kind of stuff. And that was a lot of fun, by the way. So thank you very much for joining in, as always. And I want to remind you to go out there and prepare. Today is Friday. Go ahead and top everything off. Top off your gas, top off, fill in your gaps, and enjoy your weekend, but top everything off today. That way that that going into Monday, If something happens, you'll be prepared for whatever may come. And of course, it is Friday, TGIF. I'm sure you worked very hard this week, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and do a quick safety brief. Don't drink and don't drive. If you're going to drink, don't drive. And if you're going to drive, don't drink. And if you're going to drink and you're going somewhere, get a designated driver, all right? Or make sure that you have money for an Uber or a cab. Just make sure that you get home safe and that you don't take the chance of ruining your life and the life of another family because you are not responsible, right? Having said that, again, I appreciate everything that you all do as far as supporting the channel. And for those of you that take the time to come to the live streams, and I hope that you have a great weekend. And we will see you again next Friday, same time. I think 2 o'clock works great. So we're going to just go ahead and leave it at 2 o'clock, Alaska time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. One last time, happy birthday, JR. Happy birthday, my Fabio friend. All right? God bless you, brother. Other than that, remember to be good to each other, ladies and gentlemen. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. If you are new, put I am new in all caps, and we will shout you out during the outro, and everyone can welcome you into our community. All right? Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out. God bless you all. Have a great weekend, all right? Be safe, and do a little bit of prepping.